Howdy. Welcome to the season premiere, I guess. Is that what this is? Like a regular season premiere of He Already Is Tequila. The regular season premiere of the 2022 NFL season presented by The Next Man Up. This is Objectively Wrong. As always, I am John. That is Ebtine, and we got some records. We got some predictions today. We're bringing you... What?
We have to drink for shot takes from last year still.
Yes, and again, John has to drive.
And I'm getting a huge head start.
And Dean is getting a massive head start. So he's going to drink probably 10 more.
Yeah.
If you tuned in the last episode, Ebtine drank 10 shots. Ebtine, show us the first glass of what you're dealing with. Okay, you already drank part of that.
Yeah.
We're going to call what I don't know if that glass is 10 shots. We're going to call it what do you reasonably think it is?
10 shots.
It's not 10. It's not 10.
It's a minimum of 9.
It is not 9. I'm thinking it's like 7 or 8.
No.
I think we got to go with 8.
No. As the only one that's drank these last 2 episodes, executive decision, it's 10.
It's 10.
It's 10.
It's 10. Do we even have 20 we have to shoot for?
Hopefully.
I hope we have 20. So a team might actually be done with the shot takes. If we're only 2 or 3 short, you should knock them out. I'm just saying, take 13.
Okay.
Peer pressure. No, don't drink 13 shots of anything at one time, guys. Bad ideas are bad. So we went ahead and predicted the entire NFL season for you.
Woo.
And so you don't have to watch any games.
Woo.
You can just take what we tell you today and ship it.
But do listen to our weekly podcast.
Yeah, still listen to the. We're gonna. Well, I don't even know if it's gonna be weekly or more now. I don't know because now we kind of both have a little bit more flexibility.
That's funny. That I have more.
I think you have roughly the same amount, which means in net, I think we have more.
Okay.
So I don't know if your flexibility's changed. I know mine has because nights I'm generally able to just record now if I want to. So. First things first, we have to cover a tiny little bit of injury news. And by tiny, I mean something that actually mucked up our AFC side a little bit. Tennessee Titans pass rusher Harold Landry tore his ACL. And that's not fun. So that's a damn shame. He's done for the year. That is a critical blow to the Tennessee Titans. Were they missing Bud? What?
Yeah, especially for a team that we don't really like.
Yeah, we're getting a little concerned about what Tennessee even has on the table right now because it just doesn't seem like a team that is prepared. And then I saw an article an hour ago that said the Titans are planning for a, quote, huge role for Treylon Burks. You're screwed. Because if Treylon Burks is practicing as poorly as he has been apparently, then that's a horrible idea. I don't know what to make of the Titans right now. I hope you're okay, Harold Landry. Heal up and be ready for next year. But when you probably have a new quarterback named Malik Willis, but there's not a whole lot to be thrilled about right now if you're a Titans fan. I waved the flag. I think they've kind of waved the flag already.
I think they waved the flag in the draft.
Yeah, I keep going back to that presser after they traded AJ Brown. It was so sad, but so funny in the sad way. It was funny sad. It was hilariously sad.
We're not starting with the AFC South. We're starting with the AFC North.
Yeah, we're starting with the AFC North, and we will get into the AFC South as we go. We're going to cover all 32 teams today briefly. We're not going to go crazy. We might, but probably not. So, without further ado, let's begin with the AFC. What is it? We want to go north first?
Yep.
Let's begin with the AFC. No, you know what? I'm gonna executive decision here.
Is kind of too important.
Yeah, executive decision here. Can we do the North last?
We might need to.
Yeah, let's start with the AFC East, because the AFC East was the easiest one to put together.
Yeah,
and the AFC North was a complete mess. So let's start with the AFC East.
Jesus Christ!
John. And yeah, I'm going to do that many times. And bringing up the rear, the worst record in the AFC with a 4-13 record, 1-5 in the division, the New York Jets. I don't think we've minced any words on this show that we just don't believe in Zach Wilson at all.
And the Jets. We don't believe in the Jets.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The two of us, both big fans of Robert Saleh.
Yep.
Like we both think Robert Saleh is a good coach.
I wish he didn't take the job.
I really do too. I'm worried because everybody's right now like hyping up the Jets, talking about like, oh, this is the most talent they've had in years. Who cares? Going from 0 to 1 is not that. It's not impressive to me. So I'm not loving what the Jets have put together. Corey Davis is the number one option. Did they draft a receiver?
They had to have.
I'm pretty sure they did. I'll look it up.
Denzel Mims.
He wants out. He wants out in the world. They drafted Garrett Wilson.
We love Garrett Wilson, actually.
Listen, their first 5 picks, I actually like all of them. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson was actually a steal where they got him.
Yeah.
Breece Hall. And I remember you didn't love Jeremy Rucker. I think I liked him more than you did. But
I think I didn't see the point of Jeremy Rucker.
You know what I think is funny is I think right after the draft, I think the two of us both said leading up to the draft, we're like Sauce the best corner.
Yeah.
And then like a week after the draft, we're like, why does Sauce smell like a bus now? For like no reason other than like he wore a chain that was a functional sauce bottle. Do you hear that motor outside my window?
It's gone now.
It is gone now. But was it loud as hell?
It was gone now. It's gone forever.
Was I hearable over it? Yeah, I mean, I this is not like I'm not trying to cast like a hex on Sauce Gardner or something. I want him to play well, but you showed up to the draft with a hot sauce bottle tied around your neck. Like this isn't FaZe Clan. This is the NFL. That sounds like some esports crap, which is like, respect, but like this is not the same industry. It just doesn't seem right. It didn't hit the optics in the right light.
We spent too much time on the Jets.
Yeah, more than we did in the shot take. I think they deserved. They were more than a free space here. On to the third place team.
The Dolphins get third place at 8-9. More of the same.
Yeah, the Dolphins undeniably improved this offseason. But the schedule's not just hit the hell out of this. Their schedule's not that advantageous.
It actually starts extremely rough. Do you want me to tell you?
Do it.
The first 4 weeks of the Dolphins are the Patriots, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Bengals.
Yeah. And what do we put? What do we give them? 1-3, I'm assuming, on that?
We gave them 2-2.
So even on that, how did we give them 2-2? Who'd they beat? The Patriots and Ravens?
No, the Patriots and Bills.
Oh, because we have them splitting the Bills. That's right. Yeah, so we gave spoiler, we gave the Bills one divisional loss, and I guess it was that one.
Yeah.
The Dolphins improved. I don't know how much they improved. And if Tyreek Hill was really going to say that Tua is the most accurate passer he's ever been thrown to, I'm sorry. I don't care that he's your new teammate. We all know you're lying. So just shut up. We all know you're lying. Your quarterback was Patrick Mahomes. You went from Patrick Mahomes to Tua. Tua was almost traded because he's not accurate. Who are you fooling, Tyreek? He's underthrowing you like crazy. which is easy, but he's doing it. I don't know. That said, Tyreek being added, it makes any offense better. It makes every offense in the NFL would instantly become better if Tyreek Hill was on it. That's a fact. They would all be better with Tyreek on.
Now, we can't talk about the Dolphins without talking about our second-place team in the AFC.
Please do.
The New England Patriots. We have them going 9-8. I don't agree with this.
I don't care. I just don't care. I am, until Bill Belichick is dead and gone, I am going to keep putting him 500 or better.
Now, I think this is the biggest disagreement we have on the entirety
probably
of this season prediction.
And it's just that is in the words of Ron Rivera, that's a philosophical difference of I have an unbelievable tight hold on saying that coaching wins a lot of NFL games.
But who's coaching the offense?
No, Epteen, stop it. I do not give a shit. I really don't. I really don't give a shit because both of them were successful in New England when they were doing what they were doing in New England. Yes, their tenures elsewhere were horrid.
For those that don't know,
abysmal.
For those that don't,
go ahead.
The Patriots don't have an offensive coordinator. Actually,
they do not have one on file.
Title. The people who are coaching the offense are Matt Patricia, and for quarterbacks, Joe Judge.
Last time they were there, the Patriots were solid. I understand Tom Brady might have had something to do with that.
They also weren't coaching the offense. They weren't the offensive coordinator when they were there. Matt Patricia was the
Joe Judge was still on the offense. He was on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm pretty sure he was a special teams coach.
Was he specs? Okay, he was specs. You're right. He wasn't receivers. He was specs. I don't really give a damn. Patricia once was working offense. Joe Judge clearly was calling plays in New York. He was terrible at it. We all know he was terrible at it. Under the watchful eye of Bill Belichick, I am not of the belief that they are going to get worse. They can only get better. Now, and I expect that they will.
If you've seen our shot takes, you've seen that. I believe the Patriots are due for under 500.
I don't.
And that's the one John's going to be drinking for.
We'll see.
Yeah. Talk about our number one team.
Yeah, let's be shocked. Let's shock the world. The Bills have a 15-2 record. And I'm just not gonna mince words. This isn't even a spoiler. They have the best record in the NFL. They're the one seed in the AFC. They're really the one seed in the league. They're sick. There is no team on paper better than Buffalo. There's no team on paper better than Buffalo. There's nothing else to analyze there. The offense is good. The defense is good. Mariota is a disgusting bastard and is no longer their punter, so I don't know how their special teams is working. I think they added Sam Martin, actually, as their punter from Denver, so they actually do still have a good punter. We didn't talk about the Mariota thing, by the way, for a reason. When you admit to what he admitted to, there's no reason to be discussing it. If you were on Twitter saying innocent until proven guilty, the guy confessed. So please stop it. He confessed to having sex with an underage woman, to underage girl. She was 17. He was in his 20s. That's a felony. We call that statutory rape.
Now,
football. The Bills, football.
Let's talk about where the Bills can fall off a little bit because there's
the Super Bowl.
There is Brian Dable's no longer there. He head coaches the Giants. They replaced him with Ken Dorsey, someone who does not inspire me, to be frank.
Ken Dorsey is my least favorite player in NFL history.
That's inspirational.
I hated him. I forgot it was Ken Dorsey for a minute. When I heard that Ken Dorsey had a coaching career, I was like, I swear to God, if it's anything like his playing career, he will be out of this league in about a minute and a half.
And yet
he's a better coach than he was a player.
Yeah, he's been around.
He's been around a minute.
So yeah, the offense, maybe it falls off a little, but I mean, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis showing up.
They took a good offense and drafted James Cook to it.
Yeah.
They took a good defense and signed Von Miller to a contract until he's like 90. But nevertheless, a contract. They're your team to beat right now.
Yeah.
They are your team to beat. They took that coin flip personal. Let's go to the AFC. You want to do the South next because it's the less interesting.
Come on, come eat your lettuce.
Let's have our vegetables.
Turning up the rear of the AFC South is shocking nobody. The Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans
at 5-12, which is pretty respectable.
Jack Easterby.
Pretty respectable for the Texans, honestly. If they're 5-12, do you think Davis Mills remains the quarterback?
Probably, but also I want to cover. I don't think we ever touched on it. Prayers up to John Mechie. For those that don't remember what happened, I think he was diagnosed with like cancer. So
yeah, that happened during the offseason.
It happened during the offseason, and we weren't doing shows. Prayers up to John Mechie. Like, get well. That's not okay. It's. I think back to the Eric Berry story. Remember what happened with Eric Berry? He had cancer too. He had I think a tumor. I forget what it was, but stop having sirens. Golly, I'm trying to say a serious thing about cancer. Cancer's bad. We all hope John Mechie's okay. That's golly.
As the ambulance drives down the road.
I think it was a cop, actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was a cop. But yeah, prayers up to John Mechie for sure. That's not good. So hopefully he's getting the treatment he needs. I'm sure he is. But no, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. You still have more to talk about the Texans?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
5-12. When you asked me the question, Davis Mills, is Davis Mills the quarterback after 5-12? Probably. But I'm really still not sure why Lovie Smith is the head coach. Like, I still don't really understand that.
I don't think he's a 1 year. I really don't.
Listen, Davis Mills is the quarterback, and people think he's going to be good. Dameon Pierce, the starting running back, and Lovie Smith is the coach. There's three things here that don't make sense to me, so I can't even analyze the Texans. All three of those things, I'm like, none of that makes sense. I would do none of this. If I owned the Texans, none of this with how the team would be.
If you owned the Texans, you would have Jack Easterby sitting in your corners.
No, I would have him fired. I would eject him from the premises. On to the third place team.
And John's favorite AFC team. He didn't say that. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're not. My favorite AFC team this year, I really like Justin Herbert, so my favorite is, I guess, by default, the Chargers, but not. I don't like any AFC team.
We can't do this show.
The Chargers, the Chargers used to be, the Chargers back in the day used to be my second favorite team.
We can't
go
anymore.
It was on LaDainian alone. LaDainian Tomlinson was my favorite non-Eagle.
I've never heard of this man.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
He does not give me nightmares.
You had me going for a sec. Like, I've never heard of him. I was like, what? Unpopular opinion, I think, gun to my head, I would say you've had 8 shots already. Gun to my head, I would say he's the best running back I've ever seen. And I've lived in the era of Adrian Peterson. I think he's better.
Never.
Anyway, okay. Anyway, the Jaguars, speaking of running backs, are getting a big one back this year. Travis Etienne is healthy. The Liz Frank death sentence doesn't seem to be lingering, which is good. Trevor Lawrence has a coach, which is good. And if you listen to our Shot Take episode, you'll recall that we have Trevor Lawrence eclipsing 4,000 yards passing.
And Christian Kirk.
We expect, that also happened. So we have him at 6-11 just on the fact that we still think there's room to grow. But this is the kiss of death for Jacksonville, but I'm going to say it because the last time we said this about a team with a cat mascot, they plummeted. I really like the direction the Jaguars are going. Sorry, Carolina. Let's see if history doesn't repeat itself. Let's see if I think the Jaguars have built themselves a nice foundation.
If the Jaguars collapse and Trevor Lawrence busts out,
It's on me.
You are never allowed to say that sentence again.
Unless I'm going to say about Dallas every day. I'll say it about Dallas every single day.
Then you just reverse the curse.
I like the direction Jacksonville's going. Enough to win 6 ball games this year. If they win more, the curse is broken.
Speaking of curses, we do not like the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are not our friends.
Yeah, we have them in second, but we have them going the opposite direction.
7 and
third
10.
going up.
The Tennessee Titans, we are predicting them to go 7 and 10, John.
It's ugly. It's ugly.
This is a team in transition.
They've shown it. Malik Willis is going to be the quarterback at least halfway through the season. I have to imagine. Because at some point, I wonder if Mike Vrabel's going to feel heat. I don't know how safe Vrabel is.
No, that's a mistake.
If they go 6-11, right? If they go 6-11,
okay.
How safe is Mike Vrabel?
He'll just
say,
where's my wide receiver, huh?
They traded it away.
And if you look at him, that man was against it with all of his heart.
I think the GM was too. They looked like they just got done, cooking. Like, it looked like they just came out of an oven and were just like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I got stuck in there. Like, they looked so shocked. They looked so, you know what? Better example. When I was, every so often, my dad, my brother, and I, we would take a trip down to Texas, and a friend of ours, or a friend of my dad's, owned some land where we would go drive some ATVs around. And it got really hot, and it was in Waco. It got really hot in Waco, Texas. And on the premises was like a meat locker. And you would walk into the meat locker, and the heat changed to cold. You just be like, oh. That's what they looked like. When you walked out of one temperature into another one, just go like, I don't know, man. I don't know what just happened.
In Waco.
It all happened so fast.
In Waco, Texas.
It was in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, it was in Waco, Texas. So I don't know what happened, man. I was out there having fun, and then the cold came. Like, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Like, it just wasn't. The Titans weren't ready for what happened to them. But it did. The amount of I'm reference heavy today. You cannot stop me.
If you don't understand these references, good, because John is killing.
I'm on one, Chief. I'm on one.
John is murdering here.
The Waco, Texas story though is real. Like, it was actually Waco, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. The Waco, Texas story is actually the ranch was in Waco. Like, I was in Waco. So anyway. The Titans are in bad shape. And we don't like the direction they're going. I just said the other way. I don't like the direction they're going.
Until they switch to Malik Willis. And
bet on the Titans. Bet on the Titans win a Super Bowl now.
Or to go under.
I just really go under as in bankrupt? What do you mean?
No, I mean like under win total. Because I believe the Titans are still like, what, 8.5 on win total?
I think so. Oh, yeah. I would hit the under.
Hit that under hard.
All joking aside, hit the under.
Yeah.
But I did just say I expect bad things out of them, so maybe they'll do really well.
Oh, yeah. You said you expected Waco things to happen, John.
I did expect Waco. Well, they showed me. That's what we're going to call it now. That's Wacoing.
Oh, God.
When you just look so shell-shocked that you just can't like anything, hashtag Wacoing. Anyway.
I do not agree with this.
I don't care. Colts winning the division at 11-6. I burned all the Colts time on the Titans, so I don't care.
Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, draft him early, please.
Darius Leonard, Yannick Ngakoue.
But no Rock
Ya-Sin. Yeah. Best team on paper in the division right now. Strong coach. I do find it funny that Doug Peterson is going to coach against Frank Reich twice a year, which is funny. But and Carson Wentz has nothing to do with it. But yeah, there you go.
Kind of has
Colts win the division. Who knows?
Doesn't Carson Wentz have everything to do with the fact
Carson Wentz is
Doug Peterson is coaching in the AFC South?
Carson Wentz is the walking human embodiment of Wacoing. Like he just comes out, you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I just watched.
Him in that burgundy Commanders jacket.
Oh my god, him in that jacket. He used to wear turtlenecks during pressers. We were like, why? What are you doing? It's September. It's not cold enough yet. Why are you doing this?
AFC West.
AFC West. This is a nightmare, but let's just get this one part out of the way real quick.
Everybody with everybody.
We did a straight 3-3 split in the division for every single team.
Yep.
And between these 4 teams, there are only 2 records. The top 2 teams have 1 record. The bottom 2 teams have the other record. All 4 of them make the playoffs. So at the bottom, and this was debated because of what happens in the AFC North.
The AFC North is crazy.
The AFC North
decides
the final month decides the West.
Yeah.
So the North and the West are so reliant on each other right now to the point of I'm sure we're wrong on this and something weird is going to happen in the West that benefits the North. That's my hypothesis because of what's happening with Baltimore at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to Baltimore.
So we'll get to Baltimore. But let's start with the West. In 4th position, we've got the Raiders. With a 7 seed in the AFC, 11-6. Finish that drink. Raiders at the bottom. I have the Raiders between 9 and 10. The schedule worked out to have them at 11.
The schedule is favorable in a lot of spots.
They reasonably can get 11. Like my instinct to pick Bill Belichick to win games, it is also my instinct to pick Josh McDaniels to lose them. And I'm sorry, Raider fans, you had a decent offseason, but in the greatest level of at its core, your offseason was Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, Rock Ya-Sin. And that's like in varying levels of like, boom, okay, fine. That's what it is. And then the other day, Trayvon Mullen, which was like just below Rock Ya-Sin as far as just like meh. But he was a serviceable corner, and you just ditched him. So I find it interesting the way the Raiders have built the team. Interesting as in they don't have an O-line. They have no tackles to speak of other than Colton Miller. There's no such thing as a guard on that roster, and the center is met. I'm very worried, which is why the shot take was Derek Carr is going to eat a lot of grass. That was why I predicted that. You want to say anything about the Shield team?
No, I just think the schedule breaks pretty favorably.
It does.
Like you have coming off the bye at week 6, you have Houston, New Orleans Saints, Jacksonville, Colts. Just straight up right there.
Yeah, I
you play the Seattle Seahawks. You play Arizona without DeAndre Hopkins in week 2 of this season.
Oh, no. If you played the Arizona Cardinals in the first 6 weeks, we favored you greatly. We favored you. And you didn't necessarily win, but we definitely gave you a little bump up in the discussion. Because it took us a couple days to do this. Like it took us some time to put this all together. And we still ended up with 11 wins at the bottom of the division. Speaking of, we got the Chiefs at 11-6.
The Chiefs, again, the schedule has really favorable spots. It's weird. The AFC West is going to be decided on the divisional games. Well, we had everyone split the divisional games.
We had the whole thing split.
Yeah.
We had the whole thing split because every one of these teams on any given day, in the way they're ordered, in my opinion, I think they're currently listed as best on paper to worst on paper. I do believe that with the way we put this division. I think the Chiefs are better on paper than the Raiders. I think the Chargers are better on paper than the Chiefs slightly. And I think the Broncos are better on paper than the Chargers slightly. I think the Broncos are the most balanced. I think the Chargers are the most top-heavy. I think the Chiefs have Patrick freaking Mahomes and finally balanced out as a team. And the Raiders are going to get scored on and get. You know what's funny about the Raiders? There's going to be a week where the Raiders score like 42 points, and then a week where somebody hangs 40 on you. That's the nature of what the Raiders have built, so they are very yin and yang. This division is going to be a fun one to watch, just because of how top-heavy it is. But a division where Derek Carr is the worst quarterback. How crazy is that?
And we'll wrap it up with the Chargers and Broncos are both at 12-5, with the Broncos winning the division.
Broncos win on tiebreaker. Broncos the 2 seed, Chargers 5, Chiefs 6, Raiders 7. This division is a nightmare. But speaking of nightmares, we go from a regularly scheduled nightmare to sleep paralysis with the AFC North. At the basement, in the basement, not at the basement, in the basement, the Cleveland Browns with a 6-11. This has nothing to do with Watson not playing. It has only to do with, actually, it's literally, I've said that backwards.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the suspension. We made this decision based on football reasons. Yes, we completely find what Deshaun Watson allegedly did reprehensible. And I think both of us have said we would rather the suspension be longer. However, the quarterback is Jacoby Brissett. So we're going off of that 6-11. They win more games after Watson comes back. Shocking.
Week 1, they play the Carolina Panthers. You're going to lose that game.
If Baker Mayfield doesn't win that game, he may just
retire,
immolate inside of himself and collapse like a dying star. I don't expect that game to be close. I expect the Panthers are going to hang like 35 or more on them and beat them by 20.
I can imagine Baker Mayfield, honestly. Like I can for some reason I can picture this at the end of the game. Baker wins, he goes to the middle of the field and just drops Trout. And he's just like
Wait, are they playing in Carolina or Cleveland?
Yeah, they're playing in Carolina.
Oh, okay. Well, then if it was Cleveland, he was going to drop Trout and drop something else on the logo. Yeah, I don't know. Baker Mayfield. How long a suspension do you think that would be?
Imagine it being more than 11 games.
Oh, God.
Imagine that.
You know what's funny? The NFL might not be able to change. Like, the FCC might get involved with that one. Have it as a televised event, Baker Mayfield, NSFW. Yeah, Cleveland is not the team you think it is right now.
Now let's talk about the important teams. At the 3rd seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-7.
Yeah.
This is higher than I have them.
Right.
But there is some logic here.
There's a lot of logic.
The Steelers' defense is built. It's built for now. And
by the way, this is not Atlanta Falcons of last year logic.
No.
This is actually put together better than that.
The wide receivers is there.
They have talent.
Yeah. The running
back
really
talented players
is Najee Harris. So the running back is there.
Top 10 running back.
The offensive line is not there.
The O-line is slightly improved from last year, but in my opinion, not enough.
And who's the starting quarterback, John?
Yeah, if it's not Kenny Pickett, y'all are fools. They haven't announced it yet, but it should be Kenny Pickett.
You know, hopefully if it's Trubisky, that might cost them a playoff.
If it's Trubisky, well, right now we actually don't have them in the playoffs. But if it's Trubisky, this record would have to change. We made this based on thinking it's going to be Kenny Pickett day one.
Mm-hmm.
By the time this episode comes out, they may announce the starter.
Yeah.
So if they've announced somebody different by the time you're listening to this, our apologies. We aren't soothsayers. We can't see the future. But we expect that it will be Kenny Pickett. Adam Schefter expects that it will be Kenny Pickett.
Speaking of seeing the future, the Baltimore Ravens will go 10-7. Better than the Steelers on divisional record.
Yep.
And they will spend the final 4 weeks of that season playing the Cleveland Browns, the Atlanta Falcons, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, do the final 5 weeks.
Okay. The final 5 weeks are the Steelers at Pittsburgh playing against the Cleveland Browns, Then they'll play the Atlanta Falcons at home.
Congrats on the week 16 bye week.
Then they will play the Steelers again.
Right.
And then they'll play the Bengals.
So here's the problem. The Bengals may be clinched and secured and not have to play that last game, but 4 of Baltimore's last 5 games are divisional. They don't play Pittsburgh till December. Baltimore's season is in December.
Yeah.
That's where Baltimore will make the playoffs. If Baltimore enters December at like 9-1 or even like 10-1,
okay,
they can still miss it because of how this divisional schedule is.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Baltimore, you've got to come in hot, because if you don't, you could get cut at the knees real fast. Baltimore, I would be appealing the league if I were John Harbaugh. I would be appealing the league. And then finally, at the top end of this is the Cincinnati Bengals winning the division again, which does go anti our shot take.
No, it doesn't. We said they wouldn't win a playoff game.
Is that what we said? Not make the play. We said win a playoff, win a playoff game.
We said they would not win a playoff game. We expect them to make the dance.
That's fine. We'll shut up then. And the Bengals 12-5. They do win the division by 2 games in this scenario. I don't know if I think that is even doable. I don't know if this division is a 2-win division. I think it's a 1-win division. But the Bengals right now do appear to be the better team, best team in the division.
And they've only gotten better.
In my opinion. They've only gotten better. My problem with Cincinnati is if you were to – who's the best coach in that division?
Don Harbaugh. No, Mike Tomlin.
Who's the second best coach in that division?
Don Harbaugh.
Who's the third? It's probably Stefanski. It's just
the fact that they kept Baker in while injured.
I know.
Continued to they wouldn't play through the run game. It's a little iffy. I think it's got to be Zach Taylor.
I don't know, but the point I think is still made. We just said Zach Taylor is not a top half coach in his division. There are 2 coaches in his division that coach 4 games against him total that are just unequivocally better than he is. Yes, Cincinnati has sick offensive talent. And yes, the biggest problem with the Bengals was you don't have an O-line. Well, Kappa, Lyle Collins, they improved. They improved. There's no argument. The Bengals absolutely improved their football team. They are better today than they were during the Super Bowl. Now we get to see how much of a fluke it was that they got there. Can they do it again? We'll see. Now we go to the NFC.
NFC South.
Yeah, we're going to start at the South. South is the least interesting because there's 3 dumpster fire teams.
In a reversal of last year, we predict the Atlanta Falcons to go 3-14, as they plan to, if you're paying attention.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of defense. Oh, and for anybody paying attention at home, Serena Williams was just broken on set. It's 3-1 now. She's in trouble.
You know who also is in trouble?
The Atlanta Falcons.
No, Marcus Mariota. He's expected to play more than 1 quarter of football.
I know. So, you know what's funny? Marcus Mariota is my favorite collegiate quarterback of all time.
Really?
I love Marcus Mariota. When he was at Oregon, there was a rumor, because Chip Kelly was my coach at that time. Chip Kelly was going to trade the farm for Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he traded Nick Foles for Sam Bradford before the draft. That was right before that draft. And we signed DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews. And none of that worked.
You had to bring Nick Foles back to make it work.
And Byron Maxwell was also signed. Byron Maxwell, remember that corner, Byron Maxwell?
Yeah.
When that signing happened, that was the first time I'd ever looked at a signing that the Eagles made. And as soon as I saw the dollar amount, I was like, no. I knew it immediately. I'm like, we're screwed. And then we signed DeMarco Murray a couple days later, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool, but no. Byron Maxwell. And sure enough, and the reason I'm mentioning this now is because of the Mariota thing, but also Maxwell's first game was against the Atlanta Falcons, and he got slaughtered because it was intended to match up Julio Jones one-on-one in 2015. It didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. So the Atlanta Falcons now are not the team they once were. Obviously, Julio Jones still in the division, but no longer a Falcon after his 1-year vacation playing for the Titans. So the Falcons they're just not, there's nothing there. The offense is 2 men. Well, 1 man and another man that's an actual deity. You've got Cordero Patterson, who is a unicorn.
Yeah.
Because out of nowhere, 5 years of football after his first 2, he's been in the league longer than you think, and he hasn't done anything. And then last year, he's a Pro Bowler as a running back when he was drafted as a wide receiver. Nothing makes sense anymore. And then, of course, Kyle Pitts.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Nothing makes sense anymore. So
they also have Drake London, our least favorite wide receiver, coming into a draft and getting picked in the top 10 ever.
Not big on him. Not big on him. But I will say, who else should I throw to? Pitts, London, okay. Brian Edwards.
Hey, at least he has chemistry baked in with Brian Edwards, Marcus Mariota.
Just because he practiced with him a few times doesn't mean anything. I'm not enthusiastic about what the Falcons put together. And if you may have noticed, that is the lowest record we've predicted so far.
It will get lower.
It gets lower.
Desmond Ridder will get the reins because they're going to have to find out whether or not they need to draft another quarterback.
Ridder's going to play. Yeah. Ridder's going to play. If Mariota gets hurt, we know Mariota has an injury history. He does get hurt. Even if he doesn't,
they still need to play him.
The Falcons need to play Desmond Ridder this year for a few reasons. One, Arthur Smith probably needs the same as John.
Mm-hmm.
Because year 1 was not encouraging at all. Year 2
we bit
is now. Well, no, year 2 is now.
Okay, we bit so hard on year 1.
We did. We bit on year 1. Year 2 is now, and you need to show something. So far, no good. So let's see if you can muster something up. On the topic of so far no good, we go to the 3rd place team, which is the Carolina Panthers. That we've cursed you. I'm sorry.
5-12. Thank you, Baker Mayfield early season bump.
Yeah, 5-12. This is kind of made with the theory that Christian McCaffrey is just not going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
We just don't have any faith anymore. It's a shame. Guy's amazing. He just doesn't stay healthy. It's like Deebo Samuel with brittle bone syndrome. It's just not.
Don't curse Deebo Samuel now.
Everything I touch turns to garbage.
Speaking of hot garbage,
Jameis Winston.
The New Orleans Saints are going to go 7-10.
Does anybody actually? Bart Scott was on. I think it was First Take. He was on some ESPN show that Stephen A. Smith is on, which at this point I guess is every ESPN show.
I mean, who else do they have? Marcus Spears.
I don't even know if they have Marcus Spears anymore. But they Bart Scott goes on and says that his pick for MVP is Jameis.
I'm sorry?
Is Jameis Winston. What? How? We don't know if their coach is any good. Ebteen, you have a reference on Dennis Allen.
I don't know if my coach is any good. Let me refill the drinks.
Right. I don't know what to make of. I don't know what to make of New Orleans. Yes, they're getting Michael Thomas back. Alvin Kamara's suspension keeps getting kicked down the road because the legal proceeding just keeps getting postponed. Better than average chance if Kamara sees a suspension, it would be next season. It wouldn't even be this year.
Which is crazy.
Which is wild.
What if they give him the news while he's at the next Pro Bowl? That dude needs to just not go to Hawaii or Orlando anymore. So that's where you're at. New Orleans is in a weird spot, but if you fall apart and go to 5 wins, at least good draft coming up. Ha 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 ha. The Saints don't have their one. It belongs to Howie. Anyway, number 1 team, Tampa Bay, 14-3. Let's move on to the next division. I'm sorry, New Orleans Saints safety Marcus May has been accused of pointing a firearm at a vehicle.
Aggravated assault or aggravated battery. I forget which one. Yeah. Thanks for CJ Gardner-Johnson. Appreciate it. Number one, Tampa Bay 14-3. This should not be difficult for them. My major qualm with this, though, if Tampa Bay had any other team in this division that we felt were competitive with them,
that record would be so much lower.
The record would be way lower, and Tampa probably would not win the division.
By the way, you want to know how we feel about this division? We have the Saints winning 7 games. Five of those are in division.
Yeah, 5 of them are divisional. We think they're going to sweep Carolina and Atlanta and split with Tampa.
Yeah.
And Tampa doing the exact same thing. I don't trust this division to do anything to stop Tampa, even though I look at Tampa and they are very clearly weaker than they were the last 2 years. So clearly. Yeah, you added Julio Jones. And to do that, you basically forced yourself to have no O-linemen. Kappa left. Marpet retired. Ryan Jensen's hurt. Like, there's nothing. But hey, we got Shaq Mason, who's done nothing but decline. I don't know what to make of Tampa right now. Tristan Wirf's apparently not exactly healthy right now. Might miss a couple games. This is not looking good for Tampa. That said, we still gave him 14-3 because somehow a playoff team had a schedule that allowed for this. So there you go. Let's go to the North. You okay?
I'm finding the ability to talk again.
Oh, that's right. You had 10 shots. I forgot about that for a second.
Chicago.
Yeah, NFC North, Chicago at the bottom of the list here with a 2-15 record. And for what it's worth, we'll talk briefly at the end of this about the draft order. But right now, oh no. Oh, Serena Williams is going to get broken again. This might be the end. This might be the end of an era. It was funny. Somebody tweeted, I saw it the other day, or maybe it was earlier today, that we live in the GOAT era of sports because we've got Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, and Tom Brady all happening at once, and LeBron James all happening at once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the greatest, like arguably greatest of all times in all of their sports, all happening at the same time. They're calling it the GOAT era. That's not bad. I don't hate that. I don't agree with 2 of those being GOATs, but Serena's clearly the GOAT of women's tennis, and Tiger Woods, in my opinion, is clearly the GOAT of golf. Football's a team sport, and LeBron James is not Michael Jordan. Anyway, back to football.
Talking about a team sport, Chicago has no team.
Yeah, they don't have
2-15.
I don't even know if they have any athletes. I don't know what the Bears
have athletes.
They have athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of oh nope, she got broken. 5-1. If I don't know how to pronounce that opponent's name, but if she wins the next game, Serena's career at the US Open is over. How sad. In the 3rd round. What a shame. She wasn't expected to win, but it would have been nice to see. The Bears are not a well-built machine. They're like a Model T if you built it upside down. Like, this is not a well-built team. You ever see that old like stock footage of like when they like early planes, like when they tried to get things into the air and like the wings would just collapse as it was like trying to get into the air? That's what the Bears seem like to me. They're trying, kind of, and then it just doesn't work.
I don't think they're trying. They're trying to get a new quarterback. I'll agree with that.
I'm not on the Justin Fields wagon. I don't think Ebteen is either anymore.
But I think they're also they also built the wagon with a giant hole in the middle. And like,
how many teams do you think are waiting 2 years for a quarterback? Because Caleb Williams doesn't come out this year. It comes out a year after this year. And I think you and we haven't discussed it that much, but I'm of the opinion I think Caleb Williams, and I never say this about a USC quarterback because he didn't start there. He was a Sooner. Caleb Williams, I think, is a better prospect than Bryce Young and Carson Strong. Or not, I keep saying that. CJ Stroud. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I think Caleb Williams is a better prospect than either of them.
Oh my God. The answer to your question is the NFC North.
It's the North, right?
Because Minnesota, to move on from Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Detroit, to move on from
Jared Goff. Aaron Rodgers, because at that point, they probably don't think Jordan Love is it. And
I don't think they think Jordan Love's it now. And I think the league is telling them that because he wasn't traded.
And obviously, the Chicago Bears, who are trying to throw Justin Fields under the bus.
They really don't want Fields to succeed.
I mean,
by the way, watch the Bears come out and win like 12 games or something.
No, they're not winning 12.
They're not going to.
But I mean, like, they brought in Matt Eberflus, so they're already deciding they're going to find out a coach 2 years from now.
Probably.
There's not a wide receiver there. N'Keal Harry, I think, is wide receiver 3 there.
I think he's hurt. We looked at the list. Do you know who the Bears wide receiver 2 is right now? I told you.
DeMarco Robinson, isn't it?
No. DeMarcus Robinson is a Raven. No. I said this to you yesterday.
It's the other ex-chief.
It is Equanimous St. Brown. Their number 2 wide receiver. It is Darnell Mooney at 1 and Equanimous St. Brown. If you look at the official depth chart, it is Equanimous St. Brown.
At least they have
like 2 days ago. I don't know what to make. Serena Williams is 1 point from retirement. If she misses this next point, she loses. You cannot put together an NFL roster where Equanimous St. Brown is a second receiving option. You cannot convince me that that's a good idea. That's never been a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Bear fans, Kelechi Osemele is working out with you right now.
Great. When was the last time he played? 2018?
Well, yeah, 2018.
No, not even well. How about at all? How about played the sport of football? She won the point. She's in deuce.
Okay.
Good shot. I'm giving like random tennis updates as we do the NFL season.
And I don't care about tennis.
I'm like a closet tennis fan. It's not even a closet. I used to be a huge Roger Federer fan.
Okay.
Roger Federer was my dude. But he hasn't played in a while. His knee just doesn't stay healthy anymore. But yeah, it was the first thing after I got my leg surgery. I got home and I was like still loopy and I was like, put on a sport. And my mom had like the remote and she put it on and the only thing that was on was doubles tennis. Doubles tennis is inferior to singles. Singles is way more fun. Anyway, let's go to the third spot in this division is Detroit.
The Lions.
12.
An improvement.
Yeah, good work. Your Hard Knocks season isn't that fun.
Get rid of Jared Goff and we'll talk.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say on that. I agree. You're 5-12. Deandre Swift's a beast, and that's kind of it. It is match point number 2. If Serena Williams loses this point, she loses.
The Green Bay Packers
at the 2 seed, 12-5.
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
They're 12-5. And they're second in the division.
They don't win the division.
What does that tell you?
It tells you Minnesota wins the division.
We're calling our shot.
They also do it at 12-5. They have the same record. Minnesota wins they win on tiebreaker.
We are calling our shot. Green Bay has a great defense, an exceptional defense.
She won the point. It's deuce again.
There is no wide receiver on that team besides of a rookie.
You know what's funny? There's 2 actually. Because
Randall Cobb does not count.
Who?
Randall Cobb does not.
No. Romeo Dobbs, however you pronounce it, he's been gaining like a ton of traction. Like legitimate traction.
Yeah, because you have to find somebody to talk about.
No, I understand that. But if you can play, you can play. And that's just the way the NFL works. If you can play, they'll find you. That's just the way the league has worked for years. I don't have a ton of faith in Green Bay to win the division or win the Super Bowl or this or that or whatever. It's match point again. But if you're going to tell me Minnesota can beat them with a 6-0 divisional record, that part of it hits me the wrong way because I think they're going to drop one of them. But basically what we made a point to do is that any game that wasn't like a primetime game, if it was a primetime game, they lost. They only have 2. So Cousins can't.
Monday and a Thursday night game, right?
Yeah, he can't even. They don't have a Sunday night game at all. By the way, it's deuce again. She's now fought off 3 match points.
Don't care.
I care. The world cares, team.
No, they don't.
Everyone cares. So Russell Wilson is at this game. There's your at this match. There's your football tie-in. So
is he even watching?
Yeah, he's there. They keep showing him. It's weird. I don't know why they keep showing him and Sierra, but it's odd.
I mean,
by the way, he's wearing sunglasses. They play this match in New York. It is 10:15. Anyway, it is 10 at night.
Damn, dude. Russell Wilson really dipped into that Colorado weed.
Russell Wilson just completely stoned. He can't show his eyes on camera. Match point again for the Australian.
Denver.
Let's ride.
Denver. We're Blaze.
Let's ride. That's the funniest damn meme. Russell Wilson's been memed like 4 or 5 times, and they're all dumb. But anyway, yeah, Vikings at the top seed here. 4th seed in the NFC. Green Bay gets the 5th seed. Detroit and Chicago, shocking, don't make the playoffs.
The Vikings have a very favorable schedule. Honestly.
They do. They have a very favorable schedule.
It's kind of... This is our dark horse pick to shock the NFL this year. And they don't have Mike Zimmer to hold the offense back anymore.
Right.
Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's
a good enough quarterback to win football games. We're not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. We're saying they're going to win the division. We're saying they're going to win the division. Everyone calm down.
In a weakened NFC North division, they will land on top.
In a division with 2 teams that really aren't trying and 1 team that has taken a ton of personnel hits, we think they've got a shot to take Green Bay's spot. That's all we're saying. Let's move on to the NFC. Which one? Pick one. East or West?
I want to end with the West.
Let's go to the East then. At the bottom of the NFC East, Serena Williams has a break point. At the bottom, at the cellar of the NFC East is the Washington Commanders.
Carson!
With a 3-14 record. We have no faith.
Ron Rivera is getting fired.
Yeah, and I'm unhappy with that because I do love Ron Rivera. I'm a fan. I think he's a good coach. I know he's a good person. I would like it if he were to not lose his job. But I also don't want him to be coaching Carson Wentz that long because I think he stinks.
Don't worry. I think Carson Wentz is going to just do a year and then move on, a year and move on. He's probably Carolina's next quarterback.
When is the day that he signs a contract with a team and is the backup? When is that day? Is that next year or is it the year after?
Year after.
Okay.
Right.
Because he's starting to feel Bradford-esque to me.
No, to me, he feels like Ryan Fitzpatrick at this point.
No, he's not Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick was better.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick could actually play kind of.
Fitzpatrick has magic in his bones.
It was so
Carson
funny that
Wentz has embarrassment in his bones.
It was that Jet season. That season with the Jets where him and Brandon Marshall went off. He parlayed that to like 5 more years of NFL contracts. Like, it was so weird.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is my idol.
He finally retired, ripped the beard, but like that was so funny.
I bet his kids are happy. I bet his kids are ecstatic. You want to know why? Their dad's back home, and 2, they don't have to switch allegiances again.
Yeah, how many jerseys? The only other, like, Josh Johnson's family has to have the highest jersey budget.
No, it's McCown. It's got to be the McCown.
No, I think Josh Johnson has played for 14 teams.
Damn.
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding you. I think he's the most team. Who has played for the most NFL teams? Who has played for the most NFL teams? The answer is Josh Johnson.
Okay. 14
different clubs over 12 seasons.
Do you think
amazing?
Like when one of his kids stains the shirt, he looks at it and he's like, "Well, I didn't like them anyways," and just throws it in the trash.
And that's what happens every time his kid stains a shirt. He just picks the next team. Yeah. Freaking lol. All right, let's go. So Washington, we think they're in the doldrums here. Let's go to the New York Giants. Doldrums. What a great word. The Giants, 3rd place, 5-12. They're bad.
Yeah, they'll get a new quarterback. If they don't, Dable, you should quit.
The Giants have some capital. The Giants have room to work, and
we like their draft. We did like
the Giants had a good draft. The Giants had a very good draft, which hurts because I'm an Eagles fan. I don't want them to do well, but they had a good draft. They have a good coach, I think. They do not have a quarterback. Their O-line, while they drafted well, their O-line still is a work in progress. Going the right direction. Let's just wait and see. I think the Giants are maybe a year or two early.
It's not even a year. It's 2 years early.
You cannot convince me that Kenny Golladay is good for that football team. He'll be gone in a year. Number 2 in the NFC East, making the playoffs as the 7 seed with a 9-8 record, the Dallas Cowboys. Before anybody says anything, the reality is this. The NFC East has had a different winner every single year, no consecutive winners since 2001.
This is not a good team.
We expect that to happen again, and there's no way it was going to be New York or Washington.
This is an extremely mediocre team.
Dallas has problems.
I didn't even want to put them over 500. It just has to happen because now there's 17 games.
Right. The record is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys are critically flawed in many positions. Their O-line has been absolutely eviscerated. Tyron Smith has such a bad injury to the point of he might be done. Like, no one's talking about it yet. And I know the rumors are like, oh, he could be back in December. Guys, the hammy was ripped off the knee. Like, it's not part of the leg right now. It's separate. Tyron Smith is going through it. Again, hope he gets healthy. I'm a fan of Tyron Smith's. But they lose Lyle Collins to free agency. They lose Randy Gregory to free agency. They trade away Amari Cooper for a package similar to what the Eagles got for Jalen Reagor. So the Cowboys can't even do that right. They are a worse team today than they were last year. They're worse.
They spent all their free agency money keeping who they consider key players.
Ezekiel Elliott should no longer be a Cowboy.
No.
Very clearly.
Not only that, he should not be your starting running back. Tony Pollard is a better running back.
Tony Pollard is at least as good.
Like, they know that Tony Pollard's better. But Jerry Jones refuses to acknowledge it.
It's because of what they're paying him. It's the only rational explanation. It's the only explanation for this. There's no reason to be playing Zeke as much as they play him right now. I think Pollard probably had a higher yards per carry last year. Ezekiel Elliott, my apologies. Last year, what did he put up? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for what you're looking for.
Oh, okay. Zeke pulled up 1,000 yards rushing last year on 237 attempts. Average of 4.2. Not bad. Tony Pollard. Tonith Pollardio. That's not his name. It's Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard averaged 5.5 yards per carry.
How many carries?
130 attempts, 790 yards. 719 yards, I'm sorry.
So that's 100 less attempts. Like, it was 100 less attempts. It wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. Serena lost. Serena Williams is lost. I believe that's retirement. What a shame. How sad. That was a brutal last game, though. Yeah, Tony Pollard needs to get more attention here. Ezekiel Elliott.
Do you understand he also had 337 receiving yards for an average of 8.6?
I got rid of Zeke's tab, so I don't know what he did receiving last year. But that's pretty incredible.
I'll look up Elliott right now while you talk about Pollard.
Go ahead. I don't view Dallas as doing anything the right way right now. Which, shocking, right? Nobody thinks they're doing anything the right way. They're just kind of a mess. There are so many things they need to fix. So many things. And what I find,
Elliott on Elliott receiving 287 yards on 47 receptions.
How do you catch the ball almost 50 times and have less than 300 yards?
You want to know how many Pollard had? 39 receptions.
For how many yards?
337.
Both of those are weird totals.
He's a better player, though.
He might be better right now.
Pollard is a better player. That is okay.
Zeke strikes me as the guy that when he leaves Dallas, he'll be done.
Yeah.
Because another team is not going to pay him what he values himself at. So I don't know what to make of where we're standing right now with the Dallas Cowboys at running back. I just know that the Dallas Cowboys are I know they're not winning this division. I know that they're not good. And not to mention the fact that I think they have the worst coach in the division.
I mean, they have a lame duck at the position.
That's true because he is going to be fired. Like everybody knows this, right? He's going to be fired at the end of the season for Sean Payton. That's going to happen. So let's go to the Eagles. Yes, we have the Eagles winning this division. I'm going to make you talk on this because it's going to sound empty coming from me.
Now, John didn't believe this initially, but I've been on this train since the season basically was over. The Eagles are winning this division, guys, and the NFC is weak. The Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. If you don't believe it, think about the other two teams that are contenders in this division, and not in this division, in this conference. You got Tampa Bay, who doesn't have an offensive line, and you got the Rams, who deserve all the respect in the world. They just won the Super Bowl. They got Allen Robinson. Okay, the Eagles have A.J. Brown. They have the best offensive line in probably the entire league. They have a very strong defense now. Finally.
That one I'm going to correct. There's no probable. That is the best O-line in the NFL.
And the Eagles have the third easiest record. It's crazy.
Schedule.
Yeah, the third easiest schedule. It's crazy how easy this schedule is. I'm looking at it right now. The hardest game on this schedule is Dallas. Actually, Dallas.
Who do we give the 4 losses to? Because they're 13-4 in our billing.
The Colts beat them. Dallas beats them once. And the Saints beat them. Saints are weird. Some days they show up.
The reason that we gave them that game is because in my eyes, looking at it, I could not give the Eagles 14 wins.
And I'm wrong. I'm sorry. They do play the Packers.
Okay.
But even that game is in Philadelphia, John.
Yeah.
And it's late in the season. The Eagles are coming. They will be your third seed at 13-4.
Let's go to the West. I don't want to say much on the Eagles.
Yeah, let's wrap up the West fast. Seattle will bring up the rear at 2-15. They intend to do this on purpose. They will get a quarterback.
They're going. That team is going to end up with Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. That's going to happen. One of them will go to Seattle.
The Cardinals will have third place in that division. They will go 8-9. This is a direct result of the fact of two things. You will start the first 6 weeks without DeAndre Hopkins, your best offensive weapon. And Cliff Kingsbury always
falters.
Yeah. So it sucks. You're not making the playoffs. You should fire Kingsbury.
You should fire Kingsbury at the end of the season. That's why we made it the shot take, because we believe it's the right course of action for the football team. Fire him. Fire Steve Keim. The team is not good, right? You're in such purgatory. You need to either blow it up or admit that there are flaws and start fixing them, but they're not doing either one of them.
Coming second in the division and claiming a playoff spot is the San Francisco 49ers at 10-7.
Bang.
Now, we both believe Jimmy will play some games.
Yes.
In my opinion, if Jimmy rides the bench the entire time, San Francisco might miss the playoffs. Because Trey Lance, I don't really see as ready. And at best, I see an up and down year.
San Fran is like a floor of 7 wins and a ceiling of 12. Like, it's weird with San Fran. So we had to find the middle, and based on the record, it was 10. Based on the schedule, it was 10-7. But the huge flaw, 6 division games, we have them losing 4 of them.
Yeah.
We have them having trouble with this division this year.
And then the winner of the division and the second seed, the Los Angeles Rams at 13-4.
Yeah, 5-1 in the division, 13-4, number 2 seed behind Tampa. Tampa is not the best team in the conference. I don't think Tampa's the 3rd or 4th best team in the conference.
They just have the best schedule.
They have a schedule. I don't think Tampa's the 4th best. I think Tampa might be the 4th best team in the conference.
Yeah.
But they've got a schedule, and they have Tom Brady. They do not have an offensive line. Tampa Bay, I look at Tampa as a team that can fall apart. I said that before. The Rams have so much talent, so much to be excited about. Adding Allen Robinson, in my view, is that Tampa My view is that Tampa is just not there anymore. I don't think they're as good as they were. I think LA has so much. I think Allen Robinson's an improvement over Odell Beckham. I think Bobby Wagner's an improvement over anybody. The Rams are a better team than they were last year, even more so.
Even though they lost Von Miller.
Right. They're better than they were last year, even losing Von Miller.
Let's do some awards really quickly.
Real quick, because we're going to say goodbye to you people.
Comeback player of the year, Derrick Henry. Did you know he only played 8 games last year? His stats
still had almost 1,000 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns.
Defensive rookie of the year, Aiden Hutchinson. I could see Kayvon Thibodeau. I really can. The Giants are going to be, in my opinion, not fun to watch. Offensive rookie of the year.
Notice we didn't say Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, he's not, guys. He's not. Offensive rookie of the year, Kenny Pickett. He's a quarterback, and we think he'll start a lot of games.
He is an overwhelming betting favorite right now. We're not going to go against the grain on that. It's a quarterback.
Defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald.
Duh,
yeah. Offensive player of the year, Deandre Swift. We're full on the Swift train, guys.
Yeah, we do like what Swift brings. Detroit is going to go or stop with him.
Yeah.
And we think there's something there. We think they're going to win 5 games. They're all going to be because of Swift.
Coach of the year, Philadelphia's own Nick Sirianni. If you have that record, you're going to win it.
Yeah, if Philly goes 13-4, Sirianni should have no problem winning that award.
And MVP, the man who probably should have won one by now, gets the one that he's deserved for a little bit. Russell Wilson will win MVP. It's a tough year. It's a very tough year to predict MVP.
There's about 10 dudes that could all win it.
We went a little bit against the grain. I would love the idea of picking a wide receiver or running back to win this award. It's not going to happen.
It doesn't usually happen.
Yeah. That's our show. That's the season. John, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a week or whenever the hell we shoot the next one. I think we'll shoot that one sooner because we got to give you game by game.
Oh, yeah. Week 1, baby.
Week 1. It's time for week 1. So we're very excited. Season's getting going. Fantasy leagues, all your draft stuff. Get that stuff out of the way now.
We're leaving it late.
We are leaving it late. We're not doing it till Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, let's just get excited. The season is finally upon us. We start on Thursday. It's only 6 days. 5 more sleeps. Right? 6 more sleeps. 6 more sleeps.
Remember, John, I'm the one that's been drinking.
I think I'm still wrong. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday. No, 6 more sleeps. Okay. 6 more sleeps. I'm so bad at math. I've never been good at it. Anyway, all right. We'll see you guys next week with a few days with the game by game. It'll be longer because it's 16 games week 1. Deal with it. Sorry.
Bye-bye.
I'll probably be drinking next episode too.
Oh, yeah, he has to.
See ya.